Grover Cleveland was not without his controversies while in office. It was suspected that during his time of campaigning, he had a child out of wedlock and also hired a stand-in to excuse himself from the draft, an action deemed cowardly at the time by the American people. But before his years as president, Cleveland worked as the sheriff of Erie County, New York, and also performed the executions of 2 criminals personally. Cleveland was under no legal obligation to handle the death penalty. He instead offered to, in order to lead by example and deter future criminals from enacting their crimes on the New York town. 43rd President of the United States, George H.W. Bush, was a celebrated war hero during World War II as the youngest aviator in the Navy at the age of 18. Bush's missions included numerous flights over the Pacific Ocean to deliver bombs to the then-enemy country of Japan. While the exact number of how many men Bush killed via plane bombings is unknown, the number is expected to be the most of any U.S. president, having successfully completed almost 60 flights. At one point, Bush's jet was shot down on the island of Chichijima, and the future president narrowly escaped with his life. His comrades were not as lucky, as the rest of the 8 in his company were captured, beheaded, and some were even cannibalized. It's not known just how many men Theodore Roosevelt killed, just that he really loved doing it. Roosevelt would often boast of his war heroics to close friends and family, and to his credit, his military background was incredibly impressive. One confirmed case of Roosevelt taking another man's life came in the Battle of San Juan Hill, where Roosevelt led his small army of men against the Spanish enemy and reached them first, withdrawing his pistol and shooting a soldier at point-blank range. Roosevelt was posthumously given a Medal of Honor for his leadership in 2001, which became just another one of many awards the 25th president would receive throughout his lifetime. William Henry Harrison was believed to have been no stranger to death due to his part in the Northwest Indian Wars and the War of 1812. Harrison led small armies against Native American combatants and was rumored to fight at close combat, which was considered somewhat abnormal considering his leadership position. Harrison's war strategies were so strong, he was able to fight back an ambush at the Battle of Tippecanoe and obliterate incoming forces. He also took part in the bloody Battle of Thames, which became famous for being the rumored site of the death of Tecumseh, one of the Native American Army's greatest leaders. Historians do not have a number for the amount of men Harrison killed, but due to his proximity to the fighting, it is believed he would not have survived the battles had he not been dealing many death blows. Andrew Jackson was notorious for his attitudes toward violence, in that he really enjoyed it. Jackson fought in numerous wars, and was also an active duelist, in the sense that he was always involved in skirmishes, in which people would regularly make attempts at his life. Jackson allegedly dueled so often and survived so many shots that close friends said he would rattle like a bag of marbles when he walked, due to being unable to remove the bullets in his ribcage. The most famous duel was between Jackson and Charles Dickinson over a horse racing bet and a deplorable comment toward Jackson's wife. Citing her honor as the catalyst for accepting the duel, Jackson allowed Dickinson to shoot first, which by that time had become Jackson's routine strategy. Dickinson's bullet struck Jackson, but not fatally, and then Jackson killed Dickinson with his turn. To this day, Jackson is the only president to have killed a man in a civilized duel.